So right now we're saying send him, Louis. And if you
Send him, Louis.
yeah, America's Best Racing, they bleep it out.
What
We're
number
like,
is he?
he's 6 horse. Well, can send him, Louis. Can send him, Louis. We're getting fired up right now. Come on, and you can hear us be like, "Come on, Louis, send him, Louis." We're getting fired up, dude.
Hey, y'all, it's Pat. Welcome to another episode of Like a Farmer, powered by Ag America Media. Today, this is my second World Series champion in the studio, which I'm super pumped about that. Jayson Werth is stopping by. We're going to be talking a little bit of baseball, talking farming, and talking horse racing. This is going to be a good one. Tune in. Let's get into it. Jayson, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm pumped. I just want to start right in the beginning. I mean, you're World Series champion. I'm sure that's cool and all. The Belmont Stakes win. I mean, how does that how does that rank out of everything that you've done, especially on the baseball?
Sure.
How does that rank?
So winning World Series 1, Parade in Philly 1A, Belmont Stakes number 2. Sick. So it was unbelievable. It was just the whole thing too about we went into the Kentucky Derby thinking we were going to win, and we drew the one post, and the race was literally over before it started. I mean, he had no shot. So coming into the Belmont, he was like 15 to 1 more in line, 17 to 1 going into the gate. Everyone forgot about him. He was second longest shot in the field. We thought we had no chance. Well, I thought we had a chance because I bet my ass on him. So I thought he was going to win. But for him to win and overcome all the stuff that he's gone through, it was incredible. Then he goes out and wins the Haskell, the next grade 1. I mean, to win 2 grade 1s as a 3-year-old is almost unheard of. If he would have won the Travers, his comps would have been like Justify, American Pharaoh, Secretariat. I mean, that was the.
Hey, remind me the horse's name.
Dornoch.
Dornoch.
Dornoch. If he's it's named after a Scottish golf course, Royal Dornoch, in the town of Dornoch. So you say it like Dornoch.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it looks like Dornoch.
This is what I'm so pumped about too, because and we've had a bunch of athletes come on the show, and it's like, yeah, I'm done, but I'm playing a bunch of golf. Like, it's just so nice to be retired. Me and you were just talking off the camera, buddy. You're not even close to being retired. I think you might be more busy now than you were playing ball.
Yeah, I'm running around with my head cut off right now. I used to have a lot of like substance to my day. I knew exactly where I was going to be at what time. Now it's just crazy, but it's fun. It's good.
How do you even think about getting into horses after baseball? Now, was this something that you?
No, I lucked into it, okay. And that's kind of what we're trying to do with my new company, Icon Racing. It's the barrier to entry rather in horse racing is like, it's crazy. How do you get in? It's the old boys club, all the blue bloods. They're ones that have been in for over 100 years. It's like the old boys club you can't break into. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. And getting into the sport is not easy. I was playing golf with some guys down here in Florida, and one of the guys own horses, and I was like, you own the horse. They're running it up on Tampa Downs on a Tuesday afternoon. I'm looking at the TV like, I don't know shit about the horse racing. I'm like, is this the rerun of the Derby last year, or what even am I looking at? So that's kind of like, I was gonna start picking his brain, and pretty soon I'm buying horses and running horses and claiming horses, doing the whole thing.
That's unbelievable. Let's back up. So Illinois is where you grew up.
Yep.
And I'm pumped to talk about it because I know it seems like you've been an outdoorsman for just growing up. When you think about middle of America and Illinois, I mean, that's farming country. Like, how was it growing up there?
Yeah, so I mean, I live in Springfield, Illinois, and I was more of a city boy. Played a lot of baseball, and then got to the big leagues, started making some money, and realized that I didn't want to live in the city. So bought a whitetail ranch, half hour, 45 minutes from home. And that's how the whole thing started. That's what got me into the outdoors, is just not wanting to live in the city, not wanting to be around people. I needed to get away from, kind of just, after the season, you're there all year doing all that stuff. At the end of it, you just want to go somewhere and like decompress, turn your phone off. Like, it wasn't until like 3 years ago that my phone even worked there. So it was like no internet. I still don't have internet. It's great. So you go there, you can just throw your phone in the basket on the way in and decompress. It's nice. But we've turned into a pretty big project. We got about 350 certified organic tillable acres. We do corn, beans, and wheat, and we chase whitetails around the fall and got turkeys in the spring. It's three bass ponds. It's a magical place.
Where does that passion? I mean, you're a farmer. Where does that passion come from? Is that something? Was there family ties to that, or is it like?
But, my wife family has some ground that they farmed. They didn't farm it themselves, but they had, they owned it. But it started as a place to go, just to get away from reality and just hang out and hunt some whitetails. And I didn't want them spraying all them pesticides and everything on around the house and when I was there. And so we just started this organic farming project. And that's kind of like, I started buying stuff all around there, and it just became kind of this passion project for me. And nowadays with organic pricing, it become a little interesting, but we can get into that if you want.
Dude, I mean, it just blows my mind, Jayson. I'm excited to continue to dig into about the horse racing, but not only do you get into farming, I mean, you go the organic route too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have got your hands full.
Yeah. So about the time I started really taking care of myself, really eating good, trying to, that mind, body, spirit thing. As an athlete, you want to, my body's my temple. You want to, you want to put good stuff in. I started eating organic, and this is back in the late '90s. No, wait, what would that have been? I'm not that old. That would have been the early, it was like 2008, 2009, 2010. I kind of transitioned into this, full blown professional athlete, where we're gonna do everything we can to be as good as we can. And we started eating organic food, organic meats, grass fed, everything, and really, got into it. And I applied the same principles on my life as I did on my farm. So that's kind of how the whole thing started. And from there, it just kind of took off. We really got into it and dug into, how to be, how to get good yields and make some money. But we're getting squeezed on pricing right now with all the stuff that the latest farm bill's done on all the overseas grain that's come in and been labeled organic. And I'll bet your ass that shit ain't organic. So organic corn right now, we're getting $6.50. 10 years ago it was $16.50. So we're doing better on yields, but the pricing is getting killed. And I mean, I think somebody needs to take a look at the stuff that's coming in and going into our food supply it's being labeled as organic, and consumers, they want to eat organic food. And I bet you it's not.
On the farm, this is great too. And I'm a big proponent of, you think about agriculture, this is maybe not the only, but probably the biggest bipartisan subject. Like, I don't care who you vote for. You mentioning the farm bill just shows how educated you are. What does that look like when it comes to the future? Like, do you have deals on the farm of when it comes to who you're selling to?
Sure.
Like long-term
Mm-hmm.
deals? Is that how you're building it out?
Well, we've been putting everything in the bins, trying to wait for better pricing. But in the beginning, yeah, we would have deals. We'd sell ahead of time, pre-harvest. But lately we've been going into the bins, waiting for pricings to shift. It just hasn't done it. So it's the game you play as a farmer.
Yeah. How important do you think it is? And this is good. I've always said there's an education aspect to this show, and it's just people, especially on the food side, like, people want to know where their food comes from, who grows their food.
Sure.
How important it is, do you think, for people to educate themselves on stuff like the farm bill? Like, forget about these other things. You can turn on the news and you can talk about, all of these things that politicians are talking about. The farm bill doesn't get brought up like nearly enough. And really, you can watch a debate and it really never gets brought up. But how important do you think it is for people to educate themselves on that?
Well, I mean, I think it's a big piece of it. But you look at the stuff that they did with hemp. Even they passed all this stuff with hemp, and now you're seeing hemp products in gas stations that are loaded with THC. So we got another little passion project in Illinois that we have a craft grow. We got a craft grow marijuana license a few years back, and we're building out the cultivation center now. And the prices are getting hit because of what they've done in the farm bill on hemp. It's just, some of the stuff doesn't make sense sometimes. And not to get too much into politics, but regardless of which side you're on, I mean, these things matter. Like you said, people need to educate themselves on the farm bill. And I mean, now you can go to gas stations and buy hemp THC gummies. It just doesn't make any sense, and so anyways, we'll talk about that another day.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love it. I mean, it blows my mind. I mean, you had such a successful career as a baseball player, and now you're going all in on farming and you're going all in on horse racing. Like, it's like, dude, just go relax, have a good time. And you're like, hell no. And
Yeah,
you're doing it at the top of the top.
I can't sit still. But the horse racing thing is just become its own animal at this point. The icon racing that we've started. We're buying horses. We're building out a syndicate and potentially a media company with we're starting a podcast here pretty soon. And
the podcast is going to be called.
Yeah,
we don't know yet.
We got a few names we like,
gotcha. But the Icon Racing is
the Icon Racing. Okay. Icon Racing LFG is the kind of the social media handles that we got. And basically, because if you go back and you look at what America's Best Racing has done, and they follow us around during the different races and capture these great moments with me and my family. I tell people horse racing is so cool because in sports, when you're playing on the field, you do it with your teammates and your brothers. These guys are your boys, and you don't pick them, but they become family, right? But win or lose, at the end of the game, you look up in the stadium or in the seats and you wave at your family and your friends. And if you win a big game, you get pulled in different directions, you celebrate or whatever. And then, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, hour later, you go in the tunnel and you see your family and friends. And you have this great moment. But really, the moment has been eroded by time. In horse racing, you win and you lose with your family and your friends, the people you choose to be there, and it happens in real time. So what's been cool about the horse racing thing, and this is like why I've started this, is to give kind of retired athletes, anybody really, the opportunity to get in on some good horses and create these lasting memories with your people, with your family and your friends. And it's the only thing that I think that retired athletes can do that actually gives them those emotions, those feelings, like the stuff that you had on the field, like those whatever that brain chemicals that are going on in your mind, like the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat in real time. So the only thing you can do to replicate what happened on the field during your playing career, and the difference is you get to do it with your family. And it's so fucking cool to win a big race and then be there with your wife, your homies, your kids, whatever it is, and like celebrate together. And so we created Icon Racing LFG. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
To do it with the people we want to do it with, and hopefully recreate those same experiences. But regardless, going into a race when the post parade and they're getting ready to load into the gate, like, you've never been so nervous in your life. I don't give two shits what you've done in your life. That is the most nerve-wracking fucking thing you've ever done. And
hold on, you mean to tell me
I swear
that last out to bring a World Series championship to Philadelphia, you weren't more nervous than when?
I was locked in, and I was focused and laser focused and totally calm. No nerves, no nothing. When they're walking into the gate, because I have control over the situation. If the ball is going to be hit to me,
sure, yeah.
I know what I'm doing. I got this. I've never been so confident in my life. When they're walking into the gate, you have no control. And I mean, these are wild creatures, these wild animals.
It's not like you can go talk to the horse. Hey, how we feeling?
You can now. You can. Good? It's like Avatar, man. You grab your hair and put it in the back of theirs, and you can talk to them like this. It's some crazy experience. I swear to God. But like when they're going to the gate, you're 100 yards, 200 yards away, half a mile away or whatever. You have no control over this, and anything can happen. If they don't want to run today, they ain't running. Those gates can open. They can just stand right there. So you have no idea of what's going on. But bang, the gates open, bro. You're back on the field. You're cheering. You're running from second base. It's like somebody hit a double in the gap and you're scoring from first. Like, it's the same feelings. And then when they're coming down the stretch, I mean, you've never pulled for something so hard in your life. And those big, even a lower level race is the same emotions. Obviously, there's layers to it, but I mean, this shit will fire you up. I guarantee you, it's crazy.
I have to, I've never been to I'll go to Gulfstream right down there in
Yep.
Lauderdale. I've done to those or Tampa Bay Downs.
Yeah, right here.
Like a big time race. I need to come.
Yeah,
I come with you one maybe.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, let's get on a horse and we'll race it up here at Tampa, and then I'll show you. It'll be fucking great.
I like that. Tell me how it starts. Like when it comes, and I'm doing a baseball reference. And I appreciate what you said earlier, because I had Adam Wainwright on the show not too long ago, and now he's doing the whole country music thing. And it seems like some of these high caliber athletes are trying to get that feeling that they had as,
Mhm.
because he's doing country music, and
Sure.
when you walk out on that stage,
I'm
you get
sure.
that
I'm
feeling, and
sure. Yeah.
so that's really cool. But when it comes to the very beginning stage of finding a horse, like what, give me the rundown on how you even go about that. Like, is there, hey, you need to go find a horse in this state or that state, or
Yeah.
this age or that type of breed? I mean,
Look, you can buy a horse, you can claim a horse, you can get in on a horse 100 different ways. You know, the best way, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, is to buy a yearling at one of the yearling sales. Now, Keeneland has its big yearling sale. We just went through that, and we captured a lot of that experience on our socials. Um, Saratoga's got a yearling sale. It's like the big one. And there's these other yearling sales. Then they have 2-year-old sales, right? So next year, so 2023 births, yearlings. Next year, they'll be 2-year-olds. So that'll be the crop that runs in the 2025 Derby. So this is a long play, right? So you got to get them. You buy some pedigrees, you buy some physicals, but it's like buying little leaguers, basically.
that's exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's it'd be like signing little leaguers to big league contracts. I mean,
And you're the GM.
yeah, I mean, you employ, people that do this are called bloodstock agents, and these are what these guys do for a living. And you're rolling dice. I mean, you have no idea. I mean, you can look at these horses, and there's a reason why horses go for high amounts, but you got these big conglomerates. They're buying $1 million horses that when they're won, and like 20% of them, make the races. 2% of them are any good. Like, it's crazy.
And the horse that you have now, you bought at the one that you have. How many horses?
Well, that's for later.
Okay, but the one that won the Belmont Stakes.
Dornoch, yeah.
Okay,
we bought him as a 1-year-old at the
Yep.
Keeneland sales. He was 330,000. So I own 10% of him. So,
and now he can reproduce,
yep,
and it be worth a lot of money.
Yep. So we got him. We got a stallion deal with Spendthrift Farms, and it was like $12 million for his breeding rights. So he still could run in the Haskell, the Travers, Breeders' Cup, PA Derby. Didn't run PA Derby, but and there was a $2 million kicker on the Haskell. So he's worth 14 million. So for a $33,000 investment, got back 1.4 on the breeding rights. Now that's not normal. That doesn't happen a lot, right? That's a kind of a once in a lifetime deal. And I'll tell you, the first colt I ever bought was Dornoch. So I'm going pretty good on this. And I know it's not lost on me. And people are like, they think I'm lucky or whatever. I don't care what you call it. It was amazing is what it was. So, but I mean, there's only a small percentage of horses that become stallions. So I got a season, so every year I'll be able to breed a mare to him, or they send me a check for his breed, for whatever his breeding right is. Right now, I don't know what it'll go for, but the top sires are like 250,000. The lower sires like 5,000. So it's somewhere in there. But,
dude, you're getting paid, man. You've secured the bag a few times now. A couple in baseball. Now you're doing horse racing.
We've been fortunate. We've been fortunate. We're gonna keep taking shots too. We're putting together a good group of people, buying some good horses, and hopefully we'll be able to do this every year and have a lot of fun.
Hey y'all, it's Pat, and I'm back to talk to you today about this episode's presenting sponsor, Ag America. Some of my favorite people. Ag America is your go-to financial partner for all things agriculture. As the largest independent financial firm dedicated to rural America, Ag America is changing the game of ag lending and leveling up financing options for farmers, ranchers, and landowners across the nation. I'm going to let you in on a secret too. The thing that sets this company apart from the rest are the people. They understand firsthand the unique needs of American farmers and ranchers because many of them grew up on the farm themselves. They take a farmer-focused approach to finance, prioritizing relationships over transactions to help you build a stronger financial foundation for your farm and your family. So whether you're looking to buy land or secure working capital, Ag America has your back. Visit agamerica.com today to learn more and see how they can help you achieve long-term financial success. Because when farmers thrive, we all do. Hey y'all, it's Pat. I'm here to talk about one of my favorite sponsors, fresh from Florida.
The food always tastes better when it's grown closer to home. When you look for the Fresh from Florida logo where you shop, you know you're getting the freshest, best tasting, and highest quality products available. From Florida farms to your table, our farmers work year-round to bring you freshness that only the Sunshine State can offer. Whether it's lettuce in winter or citrus in summer, Florida delivers flavors that celebrate every season. Fresh from Florida, grown by local farmers, enjoyed by you all year long.
Hey, I do something on the show. I want to play a game.
Yep.
Okay. So this game, as always, presented by Ag America. And I'm just going to ask you a few random questions, and you just, whatever you can think of immediately, you just say, all right?
Oh, boy.
Would you rather win a Triple Crown in baseball or a Triple Crown in horse racing?
Right now? Right now.
No, don't give me no damn scenarios.
Right
You just have
now,
to pick.
Man. So a Triple Crown in either sport is a very rare feat. And the cool part with baseball and horse racing, there's like these crossovers, there's parallels. If you win as an owner at 30%, you're Hall of Fame. If you hit 300 in baseball, you're pretty close to Hall of Fame, So, Triple Crown in baseball doesn't happen ever. Triple Crown horse racing doesn't happen ever. So to say which one would be better, I think the baseball one would probably be more meaningful to me, just coming from a baseball family. I'm a third generation big leaguer, but the Triple Crown horse racing would be insane. I mean that monetarily, I think nowadays you'd make more money doing it in baseball. I mean, these guys, the contracts they're getting are out of this world. I mean, and so I would say that a Triple Crown winning horse would be worth $100 million probably. So, if it had some breeding, it'd be worth a lot. So then you would get residual value until the whole life of the horse. So that's a tough one. I would say baseball, but I think a lot of people would disagree with me.
Yeah. Do you think you have Hall of Fame baseball numbers?
I had Hall of Fame years. I was on the Hall of Fame ballot. I got 0 votes. I'm actually in a really cool club. It's called the 0% Club. There's not too many people in it. Fucking Pat Burrell text me. Said, congratulations, you made it into the 0% Club. It's a very elite club. We do a potluck every 10 years. We'll send you a jacket.
And he's in it. He's in that club. I love that. That's awesome.
I didn't even know it was a thing. So I made that, but it was cool, to be on the ballot. For me, I was almost out of baseball. I had some bad wrist injuries. Almost didn't make it. I was a first round pick out of high school, a lot of promise. Got to the big leagues. I was almost rookie of the year. I didn't qualify. I didn't have enough at bats, or there's some stipulation, but I was close. And then the next year I got hit by AJ Burnett fastball, first game of spring training, and that was 05. I tried playing hurt in 05, had surgery at the end of the year, didn't work. Actually got worse with the Dodgers. And the next year, didn't figure it out. Finally went to the Mayo Clinic at the end of the year in August and had surgery with the only doctor that was doing the surgery at the time in the world was Dick Berger up at the Mayo Clinic, and he fixed my wrist. That was 2006. Signed with the Phillies in 07 and didn't really get a chance to play until the trade deadline on August 1st. Trade deadline July 31st. Shane Victorino and Michael Bourne go down on the same day. They couldn't make a trade for Carlos Beltran that night because you got to be like a trade by midnight. They couldn't. That happened like 10 o'clock at night, so they only had 2 hours. Couldn't make a trade, and I was on a rehab assignment because my wrist was still bothering me. Hadn't played in 3 years basically. Come up, I hit 420 in August for the Phillies. We start running down the Mets. That was that first year the Mets collapsed. Phillies make the playoffs. That was 07. So Pat Gillick sat me down that day in Chicago, sat me down and told me, this is your last chance in professional baseball. He's the one that drafted me.
Damn.
Fucked up. I went 4 for 5 that night. Or maybe I went 2 for 5, and then the next night I went 4 for 5, something like that. But I didn't come off the field for another 10 years. So
that's getting it done.
Pretty crazy.
Speaking of Philly, next question, and I really hope this is going to be embarrassing if you don't like him. You go into, what's your favorite Philly spot in Philadelphia? Like if you want to go get a good Philly, where would you go?
Geno's.
Geno's. All right. So you go to Geno's to get a Philly. What's your go-to Philly order?
It's been a while since I've actually ordered a cheesesteak, but
because some of them, like they go in, they want the marinara sauce on a cheesesteak.
Yeah, with the cheese whiz and all that stuff.
I'm a cheese whiz guy.
You're a cheese whiz guy?
Yeah, I want to know your go-to.
I'm pretty much plain Jane. I just want the meat and the onions and the mushrooms. That's it.
No cheese?
I'm not a cheese guy. I'm not.
No cheese on a Philly cheesesteak.
No cheese. Yep.
Okay. Better feeling, and these are two things that you've done. What was the better feeling when, and you answered this a little bit, but I kind of want to deep dive on that, winning that Belmont Stakes or winning the World Series?
Yeah, like I said, winning the World Series is one. The parade would be 1A. The parade was insane. I mean, they think there was estimated like 5 million people down there that day. I mean, everywhere you look, going down Broad Street, the parade was supposed to last 40 to 45 minutes. It lasted 4.5 hours. Like, I mean, we were crawling. There's the Philadelphia police guys. They're on bikes. They're beating the shit out of people. They're throwing them out off the sidewalk, onto the sidewalk, out in front of people trying to climb on the floats. I mean, it was Philly at its best, man.
And that was the first time in 28.
Yeah, 28 years. Yeah, 28 years. My number 28 was like, yeah. My great grandpa is from Philly. He was postman. That's how he moved to Springfield. My grandpa, he played like he played semi-pro baseball at the time, which was kind of like minor leagues. And his son, my grandfather, Dick Schofield, his son, Dickie Schofield. My mom's Kim Schofield. And so I'm a third generation big leaguer from him. So my great grandpa was from like Marcus Hook area, Philly. And so that was this like 28 years later, they went, so this whole like, thing with the family and everything, it was cool. And then I think I hit 444 in the World Series or something like that. My cleats are in Cooperstown. The only thing I do have in Cooperstown are my cleats from the World Series. So that was pretty sick.
It's hard to believe that Belmont Stakes, Frankie, you've got it pulled up. I mean,
yeah. So World Series 1, parade 1A, Belmont.
And this right here,
close second, yeah. And 17-1.
Give me the rundown. Can you do like a live?
Yeah. So we come out of the gate clean. We got what we wanted here, and Seize the Gray is the one horse, and we knew he was going to be the speed horse, and we wanted to sit right off him. So here we are. We're on the speed, we're on the lead, and we're sitting right off Seize the Gray. So we got the trip. Mind Frame is 3 wide. Mind Frame was going to be the horse we were worried about the most in the race.
Who's winning right now?
Seize the Gray, but I mean, we got the trip, and then Mind Frame is sitting off us. So you would say the two best spots right now are us and Mind Frame. Mind Frame's 3 wide, so we like that. So they talk about the trip, what kind of trip you get, and right now with Dornoch where he's sitting, we got the trip.
Who's the jockey? What's
Luis Saez, and he's from Panama, which Carlos Ruiz was our catcher for the Phillies when we won the World Series. I just saw him the other day in Philly. He's doing great. He's from Panama too. So we got this Panamanian connection.
That's awesome.
I mean, everything.
Come on, Louis.
Yeah, come on.
See it.
So we this is where we got these hats made that send them, Louis. So like, I'll show you right here. This is about, we're perfect right now. This is perfect. We're getting ready to come the turn. And so when you're watching horse racing, you watch the jockey and how he's riding and what he's telling to the horse. So right now we're saying, send him, Louis. And if
send him, Louis.
Yeah, America's Best Racing, they believe it out.
What number is he?
He's 6 horse. We're like, fucking send him, Louis. Fucking send him, Louis. We're getting fired up right now. Come on. And you can hear us be like, come on, Louis, fucking send him, Louis. We're getting fired up, dude. The shit fired now. So Mind Frame is is 3 wide, right? And he's coming. This is fucking crazy because our horse has such a big heart. So this
is the last time, right?
Yep. So now we're coming. Now we're in the lead, but here comes Mind Frame. Mind Frame, and it's a tough angle, but he ends up, there's an overhead view where he's a length in front of us. It's hard to see here, but Dornoch switches leads. Now he's on his right foot first. It switches leads. Mind Frame goes in the middle of the track.
Come on, Louis, go.
Yeah, we're screaming around. Let's fucking go! And then he runs away from it at the line too. We go fucking ape shit.
Boom.
And the crazy part, Sierra Leone, who was the favorite, awesome horse, won the Bluegrass, got second in the Derby. He was coming for us. He just didn't have enough time. So awesome race. And once in a lifetime deal to win a Triple Crown race, to even have a horse in a Triple Crown race. I mean, it's like,
I got goosebumps just watching that. Can you pull up? I want to see the last out of the Philly World Series too.
If you go on America's Best Racing, you can show the race, and it has the side by side of us in the stands. It's badass, and you can see us fucking freaking out. There we go. This shit's badass. So this was cool, man, because it was a 2-part game. It got rained out, and we started the second half of the game 2 or 3 days later on the bottom of the 6th.
I did not realize
yes,
that.
And we're playing Tampa.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, so we start the game bottom of the 6th inning.
Is this the last out right
here?
here?
This is the last out. Eric Hinske's up, Brad Lidge. I just saw Brad Lidge in Philly the other day. And but it was.
So what are you feeling right now when that happens?
I still got goosebumps again right there. I mean, it's it's now you're fired up, but at the time you're so laser focused and so locked in. I didn't jump on the pile because I want to kill anybody. I'm over there with Pat and Brunt. Then I say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna jump in." And I jumped in, and Brad Lidge is on the ground looking up at me. And he's dying. He can't breathe because everybody's on him. That was funny. Jeff Jenkins kept jumping on the pile. I'm like, "Stop!" There he is. We got him up.
Yeah.
But
God,
I mean,
that's
just
awesome.
Extraordinary. Those guys, what a great team. What a the way we did it too. We in 2007 we were 7 back of the Mets with 17 to play, and I just got my chance to play August 1st. So we were we're playing with our fucking hair on fire. Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins, Pat Burlin left, Shane Victorino in center, Ryan Howard. I mean,
y'all had some guys.
Carlos Ruiz. I mean, we had an unbelievable team, but we ran the Mets down in 2007, and this is where this big rivalry comes between us, me and the Mets. Because when I went to Washington, it didn't quit. It got worse. So we were 7 back with 17 to play, and we beat the Mets in 2007. We got first in the division. We were 7 back with 20 to play in 2008. And I mean, both of those are crazy. I mean, that's a lot of games to make up. And the Mets didn't do themselves any favors. I think one of the years, I think it was 2008, we swept them in a 4-game series at home in Philly and just ripped the heart out of their chest. And it was there's a good video. Billy Wagner's in the game. I think I walked to lead off the inning in the 9th tie game, and I still second and third. Maybe that was another game. But I still second, third, and Chase gets a big hit to walk him off. And it was there was this crazy games. If you're watching the Phillies play now, you get a sense of how it was back in 2008. And packed house every night. From the end of 2007 to 2012, I think it was sold out every year, every game. So that was quite a time in Philadelphia sports history. And now now Bryce Harper, who I got when he was 19, Trey Turner when I got when he was 22. I basically, I feel like I raised these kids. Now they're playing in Philly and
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
So yeah, you were with Washington when Bryce.
So,
how was that? You talk about a Bryce Harper, very high rated player coming out of high school, and he comes to Washington.
Maybe the highest. Him and A-Rod.
Probably the highest, right? What type of aura is kind of in that locker room?
Yeah, it was a lot, and we were good. We were good that year. I think we were the best team in the National League in 2012. So Bryce walked into just the hornet's nest being 19, and he was a catalyst. I mean, he really lit the fire, but he was a lot. He was 19 years old. He hadn't really played in the minor leagues. I love the kid. He's turned into an unbelievable player. He's turned into just a tremendous veteran, tremendous leader for that team, and an awesome dad and a husband. And he's just he is one of the best guys. Where he sits right now, and he's come a long way from when he was 19. He was a mess when I got him, but he was he was who he was. There was a lot. I mean, being on the cover of Sports Illustrated when you're 16 years old, I mean, there's a lot of
expectations.
Yeah, I mean, beyond. So, the fact that he didn't play in the minor leagues very much, for a long time. I think he got half a season or something like that. So, it was interesting. There were some good times, there were some tough times, but we were on good teams in Washington. Those Washington teams, those years I was there, I think we were from 2011 to 2000, and if you want to go to 19 when they won the World Series, that was my last year. There was 17. I think if we weren't the best team in the National League, we were right behind the Dodgers, but for those years. And that's, coming from when I signed there, they were coming off 200 lost seasons. So it was a good time in Washington. Bryce was a big piece of that. He went to, sign that big deal in Philly in 18, and then the Nats go on to win a World Series in 19, which is, kind of why I went there, why I signed with Washington, which was not popular at the time. It was, leaving Philadelphia, and then signing, I think at the time it was like the 9th biggest deal in Major League Baseball history from a crosstown rival of Philadelphia, or cross, whatever you want to call it, coming off 200 lost seasons. I mean, I got booed every time I stepped out of the dugout in Philly. All those 7 years. If I got catch a fly ball, I got booed. Get a base hit, I got booed. Making out, I got cheered, like Philly would do. I retired in 18. In the middle of the season, I pulled my hamstring. I was trying to hang on for one more year. I was 39, and I got home just in time to go to the '08 reunion in Philadelphia. And when they announced my name to come out of the dugout, I got one of the biggest cheers. So
that's awesome.
It was cool.
So you retired right before Washington won?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That was like the first year I didn't play. So, but that was all those kids on those guys that that grew up. I watched grow up. The culmination of me signing there, Max Scherzer, Zims, he was there when they were bad. And then he, won a World Series, Mr. National, Ryan Zimmerman. He got, in 18, they actually put my name on the stadium and, Ring of Honor, they call it. And then, I think 2020 or 2021, when Zim retired, finally they put his name in the Ring of Honor, and there's like another level up on the mezzanine. So his name's just a little higher than mine.
That's okay.
Of course. And it's deserved. It's just funny. I always give him shit about it though.
Who do you cheer for now? Like, who's your
the Phillies and the Nats?
Well, no, you have to choose one. You can't just tell
the Phillies this year, because the Nats are in 4th place, so I can be this fair weather fan. I grew up in Cardinal and Cub territory, and I was never a Cardinal or Cub fan. My uncle played for the Angels, so growing up I was an AL West fan. I loved the Angels, and then at that time it was the Bash brothers with the A's, so McGuire and Canseco and those teams. And I actually have one of those old school RBI baseball arcade machines, like the stand-up machines, and that's the old school game. And so I always picked the A's because they were my favorite team back then. The Angels were, but they weren't as good. So
I mean, when you think about now, because you just mean McGuire, when you think about the game of baseball, in my opinion, it seems like it went from a huge hitting, home runs all the time league to now a pitcher's league, bunch of strikeouts, not as many home runs. I mean, what's your take on
not as many, but you got Ohtani doing crazy stuff. Judge. I mean, there's a lot of guys hitting a lot of home runs. I think the velocity is increased, but the pitchability has decreased. So you got a lot more velo, which is he plays right. It's harder to hit a ball that's thrown harder, but those guys aren't as they're not as big a tacticians as in the past. Like there's not one Greg Maddux, in the league right now. No one's throwing 88-mile-an-hour sinkers and being effective. So the game has changed. It's changed a lot in that regard. Guys are hitting for lower averages, but they're not trying to hit for average. So it's a different game than even when I played. It's changed a lot in the last. The rule changes too. There's been a lot of rule changes. There's been more rule changes in the last 10 years than the previous 100 combined. So it's a little bit different. I was against the pitch clock, but I did a game in Tampa for the Nats. My first game, I sat in the booth and was I'm going to try it out, did the broadcast thing.
How'd it go?
It was good. I liked it, and what I noticed was the pace of game was good. And you don't notice the clock. The guys don't notice the clock. All the pitch clock is done is just set the timer and everyone's head, and it's a little bit fast paced. So it moves a little bit better. And I think the game had become a slower paced game over the years. And from a guy that took a lot of pitches, and I saw more pitches than probably anybody in that time frame that I played. I was always one of the top guys of seeing more pitches and most pitches per plate appearance. So I didn't care how long my at bat took, so I would slow the game down to piss the pitcher off intentionally. So, probably not the best for the production side of things. But at the time there was no rules against it. So it was just, all kind of strategy or whatever. But I do think that implementation of the pitch clock has been, positive for the game, and it is, but it's a different product. I really do. I think it's a different product. I'm not saying it's worse or better. It's just different.
Different. Yeah. Ohtani, that dude is something else.
50-50.
I mean, are you kidding me?
Shoot, I didn't think we'd ever see 40-40 again. Now they've changed the rules with how you steal bases, so it's easier to steal bases now. That's a fact. But
could you still? But like, did you have some wheels or not really?
yeah, I could. I stole 20 bases a couple times, 3 times I think. My mom was an Olympic caliber sprinter, so I get my wheels for her. At one time before they did this thing, I was like top 10 in stolen base percentage all time. So I didn't steal a lot of bases, but I was a successful base stealer.
Yeah. Look, I think you've got some dudes right now playing that really draws eyes to the sport of baseball. I think Ohtani's doing a really good job for the sport.
Yep.
Listen, let me tell you something. This kid out of LSU, and I'm a Gator, so I wasn't a huge fan of him, but Paul Skeens can throw some.
Oh yeah,
heat. And it's good for the game of baseball to watch these guys play.
Well, I mean, so we talk about it. Like when you're, like you're on one side or the other. You're either a pitcher or a hitter. That's why baseball is so cool. You get this one-on-one aspect. And so some people like the pitching, some people like the hitting. But like when guys are throwing gas and mowing people down, it's exciting. The game goes fast. It's also exciting when guys are, rounding the bases and stealing bases and hitting home runs. So, I mean, baseball is a great sport. It's a great spectator sport if you know how to watch it. People think it's, kind of old time, traditional sport, and you just got to know how to watch the game.
You do. And you've been around it a long time. Let me ask you, because I've had some people close to me have to make this decision. You, out of high school, went professional, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do you go about making that type of decision? Because I feel like maybe, was it UGA? Was it Georgia that you were thinking about going to?
Mm-hmm.
Good choice there. And once again, Gator, hate those
guys. My mom was a Gator, so she wasn't real happy. But yeah, she was pushing me to go pro.
So how did, what comes across your mind to say, hey, I'm going to forego college and I'm going to turn professional I think 17, 18 years old?
Yeah, so a lot goes into it. The money, obviously, is a big factor. The opportunity, what team are you going to go into? What school are you going to go to? How are you a good student? That's if you go to a 4-year school, you're locked into being there for 3 years. I think they've changed that rule, but at the time, so there's a lot of factors that go into it, and really it's a personal decision. It's a family decision. At the time you're a young kid. The minor leagues has changed a lot. Back in the day, the minor leagues were still tough. It's but coming from a baseball family, I knew what to expect. It's not an easy route. There's no easy routes to the big leagues, whether you go to college or you go right out of high school. So it's, what was the thing I saw the other day? You can put all the big leaguers in one stadium ever. You can put all the big leaguers ever in one stadium and still have tons of seats left.
Wow.
I'll find that and send it to you, but it's crazy to think.
That is, yeah.
And then you want to talk about guys in the Hall of Fame, like you can put them in both dugouts. It's like it's a very small group. It's a very elite group. It's not easy. You got to get opportunity, and when you get opportunity, you got to make the most of it.
Yeah, and let me be very clear. It's not like, hey, I'm not going to go to college. I may or may not get picked. I mean, you were a first rounder out of high school, so
sure.
There was you knew you were going to be playing ball regardless. So, yeah. But it's always interesting, like, why make that decision? And then to your point, you're in the pros, but you're not at the show yet. And we talk about feelings, whether it was Belmont or the World Series. I'm sure having that feeling, getting the call to go to the show was something that was one of your top achievements of your life as well, right?
Yeah. I was in AAA September 1st, 2002, Yankees at Blue Jays in the Sky Dome. I've never played in a stadium with 5 decks. I've never played in a stadium with a dome. And I was catching it all in the minor leagues. I drafted as a catcher, and that was the first year I played the outfield. So I played pretty much every game in AAA in left field. I played like 10 games in center. I come to the big leagues the first day, and I go look on the lineup card, batting 9th, Werth, and I had a 9 next to my name. I'm like, the fuck is 9? I'm like, oh shit, I'm playing right field. Like, I've never even taken fly balls in right field. Like, I'm a catcher. Like, so they go out there. One of the coaches, John Gibbons, who was a manager for the Blue Jays for a long time, he takes me out there and hits me some like fungos or whatever, and the dome is opening while he's doing it. And I'm like, he's hitting me fungos. I'm like, I can't pay attention to the ball. I'm looking around and going, what's going on? First batter of the game, Alfonso Soriano, hit the highest fly ball that I ever caught in my career. First pitch of the game. And they have this thing in baseball where they say, it'll find you. Like it found me first pitch and kind of off and running for that. Got 2 hits. David Wells was the pitcher that day, who's become a really good friend of mine over the years. And it was, it was a memorable day. We won. I think I got 2 hits and drove in 2 or something like that. I have to go back and look, but it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I got the first base. One more story. I got the first base. Jason Giammi's there, and he like hits me with his glove. It was, congratulations, kid. Next guy walks. I'm running to second base. And I look up, and here's Derek Jeter. Meets me at second base, says, congratulations, kid. Pats me on the butt, says, first of many, and runs back to short. I mean, I thought I'd fucking died and went to heaven. That was like the coolest moment of my life. It was like, damn.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure growing up, you had to idolize one of these. Was Jeter? Jeter has to be up there, right?
Yeah, my stepdad played 3 years in the big leagues. He played 2 for the Yankees. He was good friends with Reggie Jackson while I was there. I was a huge Yankees fan growing up. I named my oldest son Jackson, and so like to play my first game against the Yankees, my first season against the Yankees, have Derek Jeter, the captain of the Yankees, meet me at second base and say congratulations. It was storybook.
That's awesome. Who's the greatest baseball player of all time to play the game? If you had to choose.
Well, I grew up. My grandpa was stories. My grandpa, and my mom also. But Willie Mays was in their eyes, he was the greatest player, and it's not even close. I would say Trey Turner. I think Trey Turner's. I think he's one. He's the greatest player of our generation, in my opinion. Speed, defense, power, average. He's that's Bryce is obviously up there.
That's my favorite player. It's Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Bryce is great, and he's turned into the phenomenal human being, which I'm the most proud of who he is as a person. The playing is secondary. I hope they win. I hope he gets his championship. He's got his MVPs. He's turned into just a great guy. I'm really proud of who he is.
I told you before we hopped on, we did one of those summer shows. I was with Riley, and he played the concert after the baseball game. And I have a video of Bryce and his family just listening to the show and him dancing with his kid, and like just seems like such a good dude off the field. Obviously on the field, I think he's probably one of the best in the game right now, but
Yep.
You can tell he's just a good dude.
Yeah, and for somebody that grew up in the big leagues, that's not easy, right? I mean, there's a lot of distractions and all kinds of things. Some guys really struggle with it. And he's, not only has he been, one of those guys that came into the league with tons of expectations, he has proven over the years that those expectations were warranted. He's overachieved and overexceeded all those expectations. First ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. And that's all great, but the stuff off the field and who he is as a person, I think, is the stuff that I'm the most proud of, because that when we got him when he was 19, it was, he could have went either way, and he had some good guys around him. Ian Desmond, Ryan Zimmerman did a lot of good work with him. I was probably the toughest on him, and I'm glad I was, because he turned out the way he turned out because of all the work that we did with him, and just who he is on the inside too. I'm not taking any credit for it. He's just I'm proud of him. I'm pulling for him because I think they deserve it.
That's awesome. So what's next for Jayson? I mean, when it comes to the farm, horse racing, we've got the podcast, the media stuff that you're trying to do. I mean, what's a few things that you're looking forward to in the coming months?
Yeah. So, we've got the marijuana company coming online in Illinois that I'm pretty proud about. It's been a kind of passion project in my hometown. And, we'll see what some of these brands we're coming out with. It's Wyvern Botanicals, but I got one of my brands is Jay Weezy's brand. It'll be a lifestyle and consumption brand.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. That's gonna be fun. That's more of a fun project. We're gonna hopefully get some stuff up there up in Wrigleyville for the Cubs crowds before and after the games. But
can't wait to get that care package, man.
Yeah.
Jay Weezy care package.
I can't say you're gonna have to come to Illinois again. I can't send it across the states now. But the horse racing thing has become a big part of my life now. That this guy Dornoch has been so cool, and he's given us an experience that you can't get anywhere else. And so I'd like to build on that and share that with people. I think that, for the retired athletes, horse racing is an unbelievable avenue to experience that those feelings you get when you were on the field. I don't think you can get them anywhere else. You can play pickup basketball, you can go golf, you can like you're talking about with Wainwright. I'm sure that playing in front of crowds of people is amazing. But the competition piece of horse racing is second to none in my opinion. I don't think there's anywhere close. Like maybe if you got into race car driving, something like that. But as far as like sitting in the stands with your family and your friends and experiencing sports and competition, it's where it's at. So we'll see what we can do with this Icon Racing, Icon Racing LFG and build out this company from the media side and create these experiences and all the content around it so you can go back and watch. It's like if you go to the ABR, it might be fun to show that that Belmont video from America's Best Racing.
Yeah, we need to see that.
And there's two. There's one from the Belmont, and then there's one from the Haskell. I got the Utleys to come out and watch the race, and
that's awesome.
They did a really cool video around that, and they put some quotes up there with the music, and it's pretty cool, and was able to show the Utleys really an unbelievable time and an unbelievable race. So
when you while we're pulling that up, when you win the Belmont, when you did, like, what's that after party look like? I mean, y'all have got, that's got to be a cool thing, right?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I was saying, where's the parade?
That's
we got to get up and have a parade tomorrow, right? I think I've been talking to people. I think they need to do this. Get the horses in town, get the chariots and all the whole thing, and have a parade and bring. I mean, it's a safety issue. Here you go. So they'll go through this. It's a 4.5 minute video. If you want to fast forward to the race, it's me talking about.
Look out!
Yeah. Oh yeah. So this is what's cool about horse racing. You got the fashion.
Yeah.
The girls get dressed up. You got the hats. The girls got the fascinators. It's a big day event. I mean, these days they start at 11 o'clock. They go till 8 at night. You're there all day. You eat 3 meals. You got about 20 beers in you. It's
Oh, dude, that sounds amazing. Here we
go. So here's.
Look at you. You're pumped.
Yeah, fire up. So we got, and I'm saying right now, we got what we want here. We're sitting off Seas de Grey. We got the trip. Here we are. We got Sean Kelly and his wife Christina were there. There's Julia. My 2 boys were there. It's a table of 6. And so
are your boys more into baseball or this horse racing?
They've moved into horse racing now.
Oh, wow.
So you take your young kids to Disneyland. You take your old kids to horse racing. It's a great because they can't go anywhere. They're there all day. They're there with you. You get the experience. You give them $20. Tell them to go bet on stuff.
It's awesome.
Gets them going. So here we come. I'm screaming to get off the rail. There's a couple of races where he ran into the rail and slowed him down. So I'm freaking out. See, we're in the lead here and can't see now. I need to step on the chair and full freak out. Let's go. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it continues. There's Jackson. He's going nuts. Judah, my younger son, thinks we're crazy. He's into it. There's Lindsay Zarniak from ESPN's up there getting video and interviewing us for ABR. And Sean's from Louisville. I play with him in Washington. He's an awesome dude. He's from Louisville, grew up with horse racing, and he knows how big of an event this is. We can't believe it. I mean,
that's unbelievable.
I mean, it was what was it? $2 million race. I mean, yeah. So the money's insane. I mean, do
you buy something cool with that money, like after just like a collecting
more
piece?
Horses?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I think
reinvest.
I got it. Yeah, I got a chance to buy the there's Tyler Gaffleone. He was on. I don't remember who was on that race, but there's Louis. Yeah, I got our owners.
Is Louis on social media?
Yeah, I think so. He's a pretty quiet guy. So this is me telling everybody what a great sport this is. We hold the Belmont Trophy up. I'll show you that's the emblem for our logo for Icon Racing. The O is my arms.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Dude, that is awesome.
It's fun. It's been fun, man. Yeah, I'm freaking out.
Got the hair flowing. I mean, fashion, I think, might be one of the coolest parts about horse racing.
It is. And then the Derby is where it's at.
LFG on the trophy.
Pretty dope logo, huh?
It is.
Well,
look, we talked about it a little bit before we hopped on. Like, somebody needs to, and hell, it's giving me a little bit of flashback of like what we're doing with farming, like making farming cool again. Like, horse racing has had this certain MO for a long time. It's like you're making it cool again, and like you're showing people like, hey, this is actually, there's something here and people need to be talking about it. So I think that's awesome. And you got this push start because, and we're going to call it a little bit of luck, but I think you have an eye for maybe horse talent, but for you to win that race and escalate your kind of opportunity to highlight horse racing is really cool.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if I found horse racing or horse racing found me. You know, it's brought me back to life. It's given me opportunity. I didn't know that I even loved horse racing as much as I did. And even the lower level races are so much fun. This gives you an opportunity to compete. That's where it came from. And then, to do something like this and win at the highest level with my people and get to share those emotions that we had on the field is really where I think is the selling point. And I think you're right. This is an industry that's been around for 100 150 years. Saratoga, where the Belmont was, is the oldest venue in American sports. Think about that. The oldest venue in American sports, Saratoga Racetrack. So this has been around for a long time. I don't think that horse racing has ever had its industrial revolution, and these phones now give people access to races and betting like nonstop, all day, every day. So you think about how ADD everybody is now with their attention spans. They're moving away from traditional sports. Horse racing gives you an opportunity to watch something for less than 2 minutes, and you can bet on it. I mean, people are just enthralled with gambling these days. So this horse racing is kind of what I think is it's a way to escape reality in a sense for you're at work, because they run like from noon to 10 o'clock all day every day. You're at work and you take your 15-minute break around the same time that your horse is running. You say, excuse me, you go in the bathroom and you watch your horse race, you bet on it, you get fired up, win or lose, you throw your phone, you win, you're freaking out in the bathroom with whoever walks in, and then you go back to work. It's an unbelievable break from reality. I mean, it's such a great sport for so many people for so many reasons, and I don't think that many people know about it. But that's what we're doing at Icon Racing. We're going to try to spread the good word of horse racing, and then I think a lot of the storytelling with the stigmas and stuff that still exists within the sport, we're going to do a good job of explaining that a little bit better. And
on the media side,
yeah, I think so. I mean, they do a lot of good stuff. There's horses aren't going to glue factories. Horses aren't, thoroughbred horses, race horses. They're not going to kill pens. They've done a lot of good stuff over the last, short period of time, 30 years probably, of taking care of these animals. But I think the stigma still remains. So taking upon myself to help those stories along, because I do believe in the sport, and I do think these horses are unbelievable creatures. There's bad parts of everything. I'll take you to the low level minor leagues and blow your mind. But horse racing, everything's got, if you want to focus on the bad on anything, that's all you're going to get, right? But there's a lot of good things, a lot of good people involved, and in a short period of time, I've learned a lot about it and want to share it.
I'm like I said, I'm having deja vu from when we started this, and I call it a movement. And to anybody who's listening right now, like, you just hit it right on the head when it comes to not only the race itself, the people that are in horse racing, the areas, the land that you need to have horse racing. These horses are going to farms all over the country,
sure,
not just to train, but to rehab as well.
Yep.
I mean, this is a staple. It's another staple of rural America on this equestrian, equine type of industry that is very important. It's more, you said it, you get 2 minutes of the race, but it's what happens before and after,
sure,
that you need these farms across America to continue to make that sport a really great sport. So I love that.
And we want to tell that story too, because there's a lot of great people doing a lot of great things.
The people that are in horse racing, I mean, are unbelievable.
They love the horses.
And they have, that's a story in itself.
Their stories are amazing.
Yep. I can only imagine.
Yep. So that's going to be part of it. We want to share the industry and from the backstretch, what happens on the backside with the backstretch workers, the stuff that goes into race day at these different tracks, all the events that go around them. We saw Hardy on Friday night at the SPAC in Saratoga before for the Belmont the next day. I mean, it's just it's a vacation. You can go anywhere in the world and go on vacation. You can do the same thing with horse racing. You can go for the weekend. You can go see your horses run and spend the time and get your family there. It's a great experience. We're gonna show everybody.
I'm pumped. Last question: as a baseball player growing up, getting to the pros, your dream is to win a championship. You did that.
Yep.
What's the mecca? What's the dream when it comes to horse racing? I mean, you won Belmont.
Yeah.
What's it?
I think at this point is to stay in the sport for as long as possible. I think to chase the dream of the winning a Triple Crown race was going to be tough. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime thing. So we did that on the first horse we bought. So to do it again, I think would be the dream. To not go broke chasing that dream would probably be one. When to do it again, 1A. It's not an easy sport. It is tough, and that's the idea with Icon Racing is get a bunch of people in, get a bunch of horses, take the risk away, take the tough parts of the sport away, which is the bills and the management. We're employing good people to do all that stuff. Total transparency. I'm not taking a fee. Some of these syndicates, they take 20 to 30% of the money. They take your money. Say you give them $100, they take 30 of it and put it in their pocket. I'm not taking a fee. We'll figure out on the backside if there's a little fee arrangement where once you get your money back, we might take a 5% management fee or something like that. But we're not taking money on the way in. That's where we're different from everybody else. And when it's a family and friends thing, I want my buddies to be in it. I don't want it to be slimy because a lot of people think the industry's slimy, and that's not what we're about. We're about good times with good people and good horses.
Icon Racing LFG.
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. Thanks for coming on the show today, man.
This is fun.
As always, thanks for tuning in, and continue to like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever you got to do. Be like a farmer.